Have you ever downloaded a game just to try it for a few minutes and suddenly realized it's 3 a.m. and your Joy-Cons are still glued to your hands? Welcome to the world of Nintendo Switch's most surprisingly addictive games titles that don't look like much at first glance, but somehow keep pulling you back for just one more run. These aren't massive open-world epics or cinematic blockbusters. No, these are the sneaky ones, the indie gems, the roguelites, the cozy sims, the games that quietly steal your time before you even notice. From deep-sea sushi dives to bizarre dungeons of doom, from peaceful farms to bullet hell chaos, each of these 10 games hides that dangerous magic loop that every gamer knows too well. So which game will be the one you can't put down? Let's find out. Here are 10 Nintendo Switch games that are surprisingly addictive. Dave the Diver starts off so innocent, a chubby guy diving for fish by day, serving sushi by night. Just one dive before bed, you tell yourself, but that's how it begins. Every descent into the blue hole feels fresh, new sea creatures, treasures, and dangers lurking below. You fight sharks, dodge jellyfish, and chase golden tuna as your oxygen runs low. Then, as the sun sets, you rush to your sushi bar to feed hungry customers and upgrade your restaurant. The balance between calm underwater exploration and frantic restaurant management is pure genius. You always feel like you're on the edge of progress, one dive away from a better menu, one night away from perfection. What makes it surprisingly addictive is that every dive ends with a reason to go again. There's always one more fish to catch, one more dish to serve, one more night to lose. At first, Loop Hero looks almost too simple. You don't even control the hero. He just walks in circles, slashing monsters on an endless loop. But that's exactly where the addiction begins. You're not the hero, you're the architect of his fate. Each loop gives you new cards to build the world mountains for health meadows, for recovery villages, for quests, and monster dens for loot. The more you play, the more you realize every placement changes everything. You start experimenting. What if I put a vampire mansion next to a village? Suddenly the game transforms and your brain lights up. Every death feels like a lesson, every loop a puzzle you have to solve. What makes Loop Hero so surprisingly addictive isn't the action, it's the rhythm. The hypnotic loop of risk, reward, and discovery pulls you in until hours disappear one perfect cycle at a time. Balatro takes something as old and predictable as poker and twists it into one of the most dangerously addictive roguelites ever made. The rules are simple: play poker hands to score points, upgrade your deck, and climb to higher stakes. But then the madness begins. Each run introduces wild new cards, joker effects, and synergies that can break the game in glorious ways. One hand might triple your score, another might wipe you out completely. At first it's about luck, but soon you're strategizing like a maniac. You start chasing that perfect combo. If I draw that joker and pair it with this card, suddenly you're 5 runs deep and it's 2 a.m. The beauty of Balatro is that it makes your brain crave one more round. It's gambling without the guilt, pure mathematical euphoric addiction disguised as a deck building game. How can a $5 pixel game with no story and almost no controls be this addictive? Vampire Survivors is gaming's biggest mystery and its most powerful time trap. You move your tiny character with one stick, attacks happen automatically, and enemies flood the screen in endless waves. Sounds easy, right? 5 minutes later, you're surrounded by thousands of monsters desperately weaving through a sea of death. And somehow, you love it. Every run starts weak. You're fragile, helpless, but then comes the high. Level by level, weapon by weapon, you transform into an unstoppable god of destruction. The dopamine loop is perfect. Survive, grow, explode, repeat. You tell yourself just one more 30-minute run, but when the clock hits 4 a.m., you're still chasing that perfect weapon combo. Vampire Survivors isn't just addictive, it's proof that simplicity, when done right, is absolute chaos in disguise. What if vampire survivors drank 3 energy drinks and turned into a potato with 6 guns? That's Brotato, fast, chaotic, and stupidly addictive. You control a mutant potato in an arena filled with monsters surviving wave after wave by collecting weapons and upgrades. The concept sounds ridiculous, but that's what makes it brilliant. Each round lasts only a few minutes, but in that short time, you'll experience more adrenaline than some full-length games. The freedom to equip absurd builds, 6 flamethrowers, or maybe a potato with laser eyes makes every run unpredictable and hilarious. You die, you laugh, and then you immediately hit retry. The secret sauce, instant gratification. Brotato doesn't waste your time. It throws you straight into chaos, rewards you instantly, and whispers, "Come on, just one more run." Before you know it, you've played 20. That's the Brotato curse. How can a game this cute be this dark, and this addictive Cult of the Lamb tricks you with its adorable art style, wide-eyed animals, pastel colors, cheerful music? Then before you know it, you're sacrificing followers to dark gods and expanding your cult empire like a smiling maniac. It's the perfect blend of Animal Crossing charm and Hades-style action. One moment you're gardening and cooking meals for your worshippers. The next you're diving into dungeons, slaying heretics, and spreading your holy word. The contrast is what keeps you hooked. The game constantly flips between cozy management and chaotic combat. Every ritual, every sermon, every new follower feels like progress. You tell yourself just one more crusade and hours vanish. Cult of the Lamb isn't just addictive, it's dangerously cute, disturbingly satisfying, and absolutely impossible to put down. Slay the Spire is what happens when a card game and a roguelite have a dangerously brilliant baby. It looks harmless. You pick a hero, climb a tower, and fight enemies using cards. But every card matters. Every choice shapes your fate. Should you risk adding a powerful curse for a massive boost? Should you play it safe or gamble everything for a combo that could win the run? The deeper you climb, the more the game gets under your skin. You start thinking in card synergies and percentages even when you're not playing. Every defeat feels personal. You know you could have done better, and that's why you hit new run before your brain even registers it. Slay the Spire turns strategy into obsession. It's not flashy, it's not loud, but it quietly rewires your brain into chasing perfection one deck at a time. You've played Tetris before, but never like this. Tetris Effect Connected turns a decades-old puzzle game into a sensory trance. Every piece you drop pulses with the beat, every rotation syncs with the music, and before long, you're not just playing, you're feeling it. What makes it so surprisingly addictive isn't the challenge, but the flow. The visuals react to your rhythm, glowing oceans, exploding stars, choirs that rise with your combos. You enter this strange state where time dissolves and your brain locks perfectly into the beat. You think you're playing for 10 minutes, but when you finally look at the clock, an hour's gone. There's no story, no loot, no missions, just pure meditative satisfaction. Tetris Effect proves that even the simplest game can be transcendent. It's not about winning, it's about losing yourself in the rhythm. It starts so peacefully, you inherit a small farm plant, a few seeds, and think, this will be my cozy escape. But Stardew Valley has other plans. Within a few in-game days, you're caught in a hypnotic cycle of planting, watering, mining, gifting, fishing, and falling in love with the villagers who start to feel like real friends. What makes Stardew Valley so surprisingly addictive is its perfect rhythm of reward. Every sunrise brings new goals crops ready to harvest a new hard event or a mysterious mine floor to explore. And just when you plan to stop, the game whispers, just one more day. Hours melt away as you chase that next upgrade or festival. It's not about pressure or competition, it's about belonging. Stardew Valley captures the slow, satisfying joy of building a life one day, one season, one heartfelt routine at a time. No game should be this grotesque, this chaotic, or this addictive. The Binding of Isaac Repentance drops you into a twisted basement filled with monsters, tears, and nightmares that somehow feel fun. You play as Isaac, a terrified child escaping his mother's wrath, armed with nothing but his tears. Every run is random rooms, enemies, items, bosses, and every combination rewrites the rules. You die constantly, but instead of frustration, you feel fascination. What if I try that item next time? What if I go left instead of right? That curiosity becomes obsession. Before long, you're chasing perfect builds and unlocking bizarre endings you didn't even know existed. What makes Isaac truly addictive is its chaos, the endless what-ifs. Each failure feeds the hunger to try again. It's dark, it's weird, and it's one of the most brilliantly addictive games ever made. What's truly fascinating about addiction in gaming is that it rarely comes from where we expect. It's not about stunning graphics or epic cutscenes, it's about the loop, that perfect rhythm of challenge, reward, and curiosity that makes your brain whisper, just one more try. From catching tuna at midnight to building a cult of smiling followers, these 10 games prove that the smallest ideas can have the biggest grip on us. Each one hides its own flavor of obsession, some cozy, some chaotic, all unforgettable. So tell us which game on this list stole the most hours of your life. Or better yet, which one did we miss that deserves the title of surprisingly addictive? If you've ever lost track of time with a Switch in your hands, hit like, subscribe, and share this video because you're definitely not alone.